Hi, I'm Emma and welcome to our channel. Today we're doing a video for approval and matching panels based on UK adoption system. So we decided to share our journey and our experiences, because when we started looking to connect with people and just to find out everybody's experiences, there wasn't a lot out there. So this is what we've decided to do. So hopefully it will be beneficial for you guys. So these are our experiences and our views and our opinions based on what we've experienced. If you like our channel, please give us a thumbs up, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. I can't always regularly upload, but I do try and upload once a week around about Sunday. Thank you to everybody who's commented, who's subscribed, who supported us. We're really thankful, and please join our family. So we have done two approval panels. One was, first time was for us to be adopters, and the second time for us to be foster carers, to be able to foster to adopt. And we've done two matching panels for both our daughters. So we went through a local authority for ours. So the panels have between 5 to 7 members, and the panel members make a recommendation on approval of prospective adopters and linking of children with approved adopters. So before the meeting, you'll get a copy of your PAR report. And if you're not sure what a PAR report is, I have got another video explaining what a PAR report is. So you'll get a copy of that so you can see, and that's obviously what the panel make a recommendation on. And it has a counsellor and social worker. So in our experience, the panel chair greets you. They've already looked at your PAR report, your profile, so they'll have had some questions to prepare for you. So before we go in for the meeting, they tell you exactly what the questions are. So it's all open and honest, and there's going to be no surprises that you're going to get caught out on. We quite like that. So the aim of the panel is to have an open and honest discussion about your potential to meet the needs of an adoptive child. Okay, so you go into the panel, they introduce themselves, they ask you the questions that they say they're going to ask you. They'll ask your social worker perhaps something. You've got time to answer your questions, and then for the approval part of it, especially for our adoption panel, we left the room and left our social worker in there for him to answer questions. And then the social worker will come out and the panel will have a discussion amongst themselves. So the panel make a recommendation, the panel chair will come out and will advise you of that recommendation. And then this has to be agreed by a decision maker, and then you will receive written confirmation. And our written confirmation was about 2 weeks. So the approval panels, our first approval panel was about 6 years ago, and we had a family holiday booked a very long time ago before we got the date of the approval panel. And because it was a family holiday, we didn't want to let our families down. It had been booked a long time, so we were going to move the date of the approval panel, but our social worker seized the opportunity to be able to use technology and to Skype us. So our holiday was in Turkey. So we found ourselves sitting in the reception area of the hotel in Turkey. Obviously we were decent, we had t-shirts on, but it was obviously sweating because it was really hot, plastered down in sun cream, hair up. I don't know what the hotel thought about us two trying to crowd round my phone and Skype. But yeah, my social worker managed to Skype us. We managed to have a small conversation with the chair panel, and they could hear us a bit. They asked us a few questions, but unfortunately before we could answer all their questions, the Skype connection went. So the panel had to carry on with the PAR report and our social worker. So that was very tense, very nervous for us, especially because it was our first one as well, so we didn't really know what to expect. But you know, we got through it. The panel liked the idea of the technology. They liked our report that we and the social worker did. and the social worker managed to get the signal back and come back on to tell us the recommendation was they're supporting us to be approved adopters. So for the approval, the questions that we asked was obviously was around us as a couple, our strengths as a couple, how we worked together, how we communicated, what we thought, how we could meet the needs of adopted child. There was a lot of questions about our support network. So we had a small support network. So there was a lot of questions about how we was going to utilise that and use that. My husband works overseas. He works overseas for a set period, and then he's back in the country for a set period. So there was a lot of discussions about how I thought I was going to cope through the period when he was away. But obviously that's when a lot of the discussions about how I was going to use my support networks, take the child to mums and baby groups and things like that. And also there was a lot of talk about how I thought my husband could cope with being away, and there's a lot of emphasis on, because he rings every evening, so there's a lot of emphasis on how he could support me while I was away through talking and communication and stuff like that. So I would say whatever your circumstances are, don't worry about it at all. I think our circumstances with my husband's job is obviously not the norm, but you know, they saw the strengths in us as a couple, how we worked together, how we could meet the needs. And I think the feedback that came through from both our panel was the strengths of how we worked together, but also how we was prepared and how we thoroughly thought through how we was going to meet the needs of the child. The second approval panel we went to was along the same lines. Wasn't a lot of emphasis on the support network though, because I think that was a proven, and our support network was a lot bigger the second time around, because our oldest daughter was at school, so we had made a lot of mum friends and stuff like that. There wasn't, again, a lot of emphasis on my husband's working away, because I think we'd already proved that we could cope with that and we were successful with that. The second time around, there was a lot of discussions about the contact, how we could keep up in direct contact with the birth parents and family. So that was a lot of emphasis, and a lot of emphasis was how we could support the new foster child and integrate her into the family with our older child, and how we would support our older child with that and the integration. So I think for the second time around, that was a big focus on that, with integration of meeting the needs of two different children's and two different age groups. And then again, there was some talk about how I thought my husband could support us and how he would cope being away. So yes, so we discussed how we think we can meet the needs of a child, our support network, how we use the support network, discussed my husband's work pattern and how we support each other and our relationship strength. For the matching panels, they're tailored to meet the needs of the child and how we think we will meet the needs of the child. And then they've discussed the letter contact with the birth families, how my husband will cope being away, and how we develop the attachment with the child and both the child and our support networks. We really enjoyed the matching panel. Well, we enjoyed all our panels, but we really enjoyed the matching panels, really, because it felt more real, because you was discussing the child that you was hopefully going to be matched with and how you could see that fitting in. We got some really positive feedback from both our matching panels to say how we thoroughly thought about the needs of the child. You know, when I was talking, answering their questions, obviously we referred back to what we'd learnt in the training and stuff like that. And for the second time round for our matching panel, we had experience with our first child that we could talk about. We could talk about to prove to them how experienced we was really. The second time round, well, we had quick decisions, but the second time around they were very, very quick decisions. The second time around we went with the same authority as well, had the same social worker, so we we already knew, it wasn't the chairperson, it was, I think it was the deputy chairperson. We knew her, she knew hers. So it was all really very relaxed. It felt more like a chat really. I'm turning my notes over. So our top tips for our panels, for both our panels, is relax, just, you know, try and relax, which I know is easier said than done, because we was very nervous the first time round, because obviously we didn't know what to expect. The second time round though was absolutely lovely, brilliant, positive. It felt more like a discussion than an interview really. Another top tip is important to be open and honest. You know, don't be afraid to ask them to read the questions, or don't be afraid to tell them if you don't understand anything, you know, and just give an open answer. I think me and my husband, we work well together, but I'm not afraid to, if he says something, I'm not afraid to say if I don't agree with it and give my opinion over. We can bicker a little bit, but the panel really liked that, because obviously that's us and we've shown them the real us. And I think for one of the panels, I can't remember now, that came back as a positive, that they felt they saw the real us really, and that they really liked that. You know, and treat it as a chat, and rather than an interview. So I think for us, we treated it more like a chat really, and I think that helped us to put the best of us over to them. I think the second time around, because our second child was a foster to top placement, and we'd been fostering her, and we took her to the approval panel with us. They gave us a midday slot, because they didn't want to keep us very long, because they knew we were taking our child with us. And I think they felt we were going to be a quick decision anyway, because we'd already been fostered and the fostering was successful. So because she likes to eat about 12 o'clock, I made her a pack up and took some sandwiches with us. I asked them if that was okay, and the panel was pleased, absolutely loved that. So she sat on my lap, eating her sandwiches, and the panel absolutely loved that, because our daughter was really calm, because she was too busy eating sandwiches, but then she was looking around the panel and she gave the panel good eye contact and stuff. So that was really nice really, and I think that helped the second time round for the matching to make it more informal really, and more relaxed, and they could see us working as a family, because I was really making sure she had enough to eat and things like that really. And I think when they came back and you know, told us their recommendation, that again, that was another positive thing that they said about us. They loved the fact that our daughter was relaxed, she was munching on her sandwiches, and they liked the fact that they could see her face, and she had some good eye contact for the panel members, and they liked the fact that they could see our relationship, and how it was, and how we built up our, you know, our bond and our attachment, and I could see we had a close attachment. So that was really, really positive. Where obviously the first time around for our first approval panel for adoption, we hadn't met our daughter that first time, so obviously that was all really talking about, that was all based on her profile, and talk about how we thought we could match her needs on her profile. My background, I'm a nurse, I'm a district nurse, so I could use a lot of those strengths and knowledge-based things like that, and to talk about in the panel really liked that, because the first time around we didn't have any experience of any recent new children in our family, so I used a lot of my work experience to get over my experience of children and my understanding of children, which they liked as well. So yeah, so for us, the panels were very, very positive. We remained relaxed, and we really enjoyed our panels. And from what we've discussed with our other friends had very, very similar positive experiences as well. And I think for us, how we prepared ourselves was, you know, we built up a really good relationship with our social worker. He really got to know us. He reflected as brilliantly in our PAR report, and for us we felt that the hard work was done with getting to know the social work, was getting to do that PAR report to reflect us as a couple or as a family, and you know how we work together, and really, and that PAR report really, we felt sold us really. So we felt really, because the social worker does such a good job on the PAR report, and he was recommending us to be fosterers and for adopters, really that was the hard work really. And it's really the panel really agreeing with the social worker's recommendation. I think if the social worker's done a really good job on that PAR report, then you shouldn't have anything to worry about really, or be anxious about going into that, into the meetings. And that's how we that's how we coped, and that's how we thought of it really. And I think that really shone through for us and helped us cope with it and help keep our nerves down. So I hope this has been really helpful for you guys. If you guys have been through any matching panels or any approval panels, please contact me. Let me know what you thought, how it went, if it was positive or negative. I'd love to know and connect with you guys. If you like my videos, then please subscribe to us, please join our family, please give us a thumbs up. I'd love to know any comments. I post a lot on my Instagram page, which is Emma Adams, or the Adams Family of Four, so please contact me through there, leave me any messages, that would be brilliant. I'd love to connect with you and find out how your experiences went. So like I said at the beginning of the video, these are our experiences based on our approval and matching panels. Yeah, so thank you for watching, thank you for connecting with me, thank you for joining us. And the next video I'm planning on doing is how our introductions and transitions went over our adoption experience and over our fostering to adopt experience. Okay, thank you very much. Bye.